The Billionaire's Secret, a $2 million dilemma. Sometimes life throws you into situations you never imagined possible. One moment you're living an ordinary existence, and the next, you're caught in a web of wealth, power, and impossible choices. This is my story, about falling for someone whose world was light years away from mine, about an unexpected pregnancy that changed everything, and about the moment his family tried to make me vanish with a check that could solve all my problems. But money can't buy peace of mind, and silence comes at a price higher than any bank account. What would you do if someone offered you millions to walk away from your own child? The beginning, coffee shop romance. I met Alexander Chen on an ordinary Tuesday afternoon at the coffee shop where I worked as a barista. He wasn't what you'd expect from someone whose family name appeared on buildings across the city. While other wealthy customers treated service workers like furniture, Alex actually looked me in the eye and remembered my name after his second visit. He had dark hair, warm brown eyes, and a genuine smile that made my heart skip. We started with small talk about his usual order, black coffee, no sugar, and gradually our conversations grew longer. Within weeks, he was timing his visits to my shifts. We'd talk about everything from philosophy to our favorite books during my breaks. He never mentioned his family's wealth, never flashed expensive watches or drove flashy cars to impress me. He seemed refreshingly normal, almost eager to escape the gilded cage of his world. When he finally asked me out, I said yes without hesitation. I knew his last name, of course, everyone in the city did, but I convinced myself it wouldn't matter. The fairy tale phase. For 6 months, we existed in our own bubble. Alex introduced me to his world slowly. Fancy restaurants where I felt underdressed, art galleries where paintings cost more than my annual salary, weekend getaways to places I'd only seen in magazines. But he also embraced mine, spending evenings in my tiny apartment watching movies, cooking simple meals together, walking through parks without security details hovering nearby. He made me feel like I mattered, like my thoughts and dreams were just as valid as anyone from his circle. His family remained a distant concept. He'd mention them occasionally, always with a tightness around his eyes, but kept me separated from that part of his life. "They're complicated," he'd say, changing the subject. I didn't push. I was too caught up in the romance, too happy just being with him. Looking back, I realize he was protecting me, or maybe protecting himself from the inevitable collision of our worlds. We talked about futures in vague, hopeful terms. He spoke about breaking away from family expectations, maybe starting his own business, living life on his own terms. I believed him. I believed in us. The revelation. The positive pregnancy test shattered our carefully constructed reality. I stared at those 2 pink lines in my cramped bathroom, hands shaking, mind racing through 1,000 thoughts at once. We'd been careful, but not careful enough. When I told Alex, the color drained from his face. He held me, promised everything would be okay, but I could see the fear in his eyes. This wasn't just about us anymore. This was about his family, their expectations, their empire. For the first time, I truly understood the weight of the world he carried. He asked for a few days to figure things out, to talk to his family. I agreed, naive enough to believe they might accept us. Those 3 days were the longest of my life. Alex barely answered my calls. His texts were brief and strained. When he finally asked me to meet him at an upscale hotel downtown, I dressed carefully, hopping against hope that we'd face this together. Instead, I walked into a conference room where his entire family waited like a corporate board ready to handle a crisis. His mother, elegant and cold in designer everything. His father, silver-haired and radiating authority. And their lawyer, armed with documents and a checkbook. The offer. Alex's mother spoke first, her voice smooth as silk and just as cold. She acknowledged my situation with clinical detachment, as if discussing a minor business inconvenience rather than her grandchild. She explained that their family had a reputation to protect, standards to maintain, a legacy spanning generations. A relationship between her son and someone from my background simply wasn't feasible. She emphasized that word, feasible, as if love could be measured in spreadsheets and cost-benefit analyses. Then came the offer, $2 million, tax-free, deposited into any account I chose. In exchange, I would terminate the pregnancy, or if I chose to proceed, sign away all parental rights, agree never to contact Alex again, and sign a comprehensive non-disclosure agreement. The lawyer slid the papers across the table, pre-printed, obviously prepared in advance, probably templates they'd used before. Alex stood in the corner, silent, unable to meet my eyes. His father added that this was more than generous for someone in my position, that I should be grateful for their discretion. The money would change my life, they said. I could finish school, buy a house, never worry about bills again. All I had to do was disappear. The internal battle. I left that hotel room without signing anything, my mind spinning. $2 million. The number haunted me for weeks. I could pay off my student loans, help my struggling parents, secure a future I'd never dreamed possible. I did the math obsessively, calculated what that money could do, how it could transform not just my life but my entire family's trajectory. Friends I confided in were divided. Some said take the money and run, that raising a child alone in poverty was harder than any moral dilemma. Others called it blood money, insisted I'd regret it forever. But beneath the practical calculations lived something harder to quantify. Every doctor's appointment where I heard the heartbeat, every flutter of movement that reminded me this wasn't theoretical. This was a person growing inside me. My child. I thought about what I'd tell them someday. How would I explain that I took money to pretend they didn't exist? How could I look at myself in the mirror knowing I'd been bought? The pregnancy was challenging, morning sickness, exhaustion, medical bills piling up. But through it all, I felt connected to something bigger than myself. This baby hadn't asked to be conceived into this mess. They deserved a mother who fought for them, not one who took the easy way out. The decision. I called the lawyer's office and declined the offer. The woman on the phone sounded genuinely shocked, as if no one had ever refused before. She asked if I wanted to reconsider the terms, implying they might increase the amount. I told her no amount of money would change my answer. When I hung up, I felt simultaneously terrified and free. I'd burned the bridge to financial security, but I'd kept my integrity intact. I knew the road ahead would be brutally difficult. Single motherhood, judgmental looks, financial struggles, but at least I could face my reflection without shame. Alex tried to reach out once after my decision, sending messages saying he was sorry, that he wanted to be involved, but his family was making it impossible. I blocked his number. He'd made his choice in that conference room by staying silent while his family tried to erase me. Real love would have meant standing beside me, not cowering in the corner. I focused on preparing, taking extra shifts when I could still manage, attending parenting classes, building a support network of friends who actually showed up. My parents, though disappointed by the circumstances, rallied around me. They weren't wealthy, but they offered something money couldn't buy: unconditional support and love. Life after. My daughter was born on a rainy morning in April, weighing 7 pounds and 2 ounces, with a powerful set of lungs and her father's dark hair. The moment they placed her in my arms, any lingering doubts evaporated. She was worth infinitely more than $2 million or $20 million, worth more than any amount anyone could offer. The early months were exhausting, sleepless nights, constant worry, stretching every dollar until it screamed, but also filled with unexpected joy. Her first smile, first laugh, the way she'd grip my finger with her tiny hand, as if holding onto her whole world. The Chen family never reached out again. I saw Alex once from a distance at a charity event covered in the local paper. He was engaged to someone from an appropriate family, someone whose last name opened doors instead of raising eyebrows. It stung less than I expected. He'd chosen his gilded cage, and I'd chosen freedom. My life looked nothing like the fairy tale I'd imagined in that coffee shop, but it was real, honest, and mine. I eventually went back to school part-time, my daughter often sleeping in a carrier while I studied. Progress was slow, but it was progress. I built a life based on love and determination rather than compromise and money. The price of integrity. Looking back now, I don't regret my choice, though I won't pretend it's been easy. There are moments when rent is due and my account is empty, when my daughter asks about her father, when I'm too exhausted to function, that I remember that check and wonder about the alternate life I could have had. But those moments pass, replaced by her laughter, her achievements, the unshakable bond we share. Money can buy comfort, security, even happiness for a while. But it can't buy the knowledge that you stood up for what mattered when it would have been easier to walk away. The billionaire's family tried to solve their problem with cash, treating my child like a scandal to be managed rather than a human being to be cherished. They thought everyone had a price, that enough zeros could erase any inconvenience. Maybe that works in their world of transactions and acquisitions, but some things remain beyond purchase. Your integrity, your self-respect, your ability to look your child in the eye and honestly answer their questions about where they came from and why you chose them. My daughter may never have a trust fund or an inheritance, but she has something more valuable, a mother who fought for her before she could even breathe on her own. And that's worth more than all the money in the world. This story reminds us that the most important decisions in life rarely come with easy answers. When faced with choosing between financial security and moral integrity, between convenience and conviction, we reveal who we truly are. Wealth and privilege can insulate people from consequences, but they can't protect against the weight of compromising your values. True strength isn't measured in bank accounts or family names. It's found in the courage to choose what's right over what's easy, even when the world offers you millions to do otherwise. The most valuable inheritance we can give our children isn't money or status, but the example of living authentically, making difficult choices with integrity, and understanding that some prices are simply too high to pay, regardless of the compensation offered.